Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. Today, I'm so excited for this episode. If you guys only knew how much work and effort and how long went into the planning stages of this video. Oh my lord. TMD YaoYao, I've been trying to get him on the channel for so long now in a pro tips video, and finally the day hath arrived, my friends. TMD YaoYao, finally, thanks to HKE Sports Company for bringing him on. You can see their logo on the screen. We were able to get him and a translator and his replays in live action for you guys, so you're in for a special treat. Now, TMD YaoYao, in case you guys may have forgotten him, came in first place very demonstratively in the King's Cup, really blew away the competition. He took out yours truly. We're not going to go ahead and focus too much on that right now, but what he is just a savant, a next level beatdown player. He's really ingenious when it comes to what strategies he uses, and today we're going to treat you guys to his tips and his gameplay again. So he reached out to me and he said, Ash, there's one deck that I'd really love to highlight. It's a beatdown deck that is huge right now in Asia, and it's really weird, right, that a deck that's so popular in Asia just hasn't hit the Western Hemisphere in the way that you would think it would. Now, the same thing happened with the Goizen meta. The Goizen was really popular in Asia for about a month before it hit to the Western players. I don't know why this happens, if it's a cyclical process, or maybe it's just, you know, happenstance. Maybe it's just random that when one kind of meta evolves in one region and then it spreads worldwide, but hopefully we'll do that today with this deck. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking for a really powerful deck with Lumberjack in it. Lumberjack hasn't gotten a lot of love lately in the meta. Well, Lumberjack is a big part of this deck. TMD YaoYao never hesitates to drop a laughing face, as I know personally from personal experience at the King's Cup. I won't mention that again, guys. So you can see it's going to be 3 crown after 3 crown after 3 crown in today's video. Again, he is playing live here, so there's maybe a little bit more of an added excitement factor here as we go through his replays. He did share a couple replays previously. We'll make sure we watch those before this episode is over, but I don't want to miss out on any live action. You can see his profile here. Not a max player by any standard, but we are going to go ahead and cover this huge, strong, powerful beatdown deck. You saw that it does include 3 Musketeers, Lumberjack, Minion Horde. It is a powerful deck. Now, with this deck, TMD YaoYao's #1 piece of advice to me is what you might consider with a deck like this. Don't be afraid of losing a tower. This is the ultimate come from behind deck. You're going to take some damage, especially if, like in this scenario, the opponent rushes you right off the bat. He was forced to use his 3 Musketeers to defend against that balloon, and hopefully, you know, well, not hopefully, he ended up actually saving his tower a lot more damage. It could have been much worse than things actually ended up there. So one thing about YaoYao is he said he's not afraid to go ahead and drop a golem in the first 2 minutes of a match. You know, it's funny, I bring on these beatdown pros and they have a little bit different of a mentality. You're gonna see this in YaoYao's gameplay, is a lot of these, you know, and again, I don't want to paint Western players or Eastern players with different broad brushes. That's not the way that, you know, I like to think I'm a little bit more intelligent than that, right? But with that said, he's a different philosophy, a different mindset in these matches, and it can't be ignored in my opinion, and he's a bit more aggressive with his beatdown pushes than you typically see players who kind of are great or specialize, I should say, in beatdown play. So YaoYao, like any other beatdown player, is going to preferably start out with a pump, and the pump game is very important. You want to make sure you maintain the elixir advantage via the pump because it's such a heavy deck. This is a really expensive deck, but you can see here again, he's probably going to lose this right tower right now. In fact, he's going to want to protect that pump though, and he does, distracting with that Lumberjack. So the Lumberjack's going to go in the lane. It's pretty much a sacrificial Lumberjack at this point, but even though it looks like YaoYao is down by a significant margin right now on the damage, you can tell that with that elixir pump on the board in full stock of elixir at 10 out of 10 before he dropped those 3 Musketeers, He's going to be able to probably, well, I was going to say he's going to be able to defend the left lane. He might lose that tower. It's going to come down to it, and he does lose that left tower, but check this out, guys. He's going to go for the 3 crown here, and here it comes. It's going to be the Golem, followed by the Lumberjack, and then he has both minions and minion horde in this deck. Once the opponent uses their spells, TMD YaoYao says that's when you unleash the beast in this deck. You have, obviously, depending on what spells they have, you have minion horde and minions, you have goblin gang, you have 3 musketeers, and look at this. Another 3 crown. This guy, is he incredible or what? I mean, this deck is so much fun to play. I can't tell you guys. I've only played personally, just, you know, throw it out there. I've only played a few matches in preparation for this video, but boy, does it look like a heck of a lot of fun. I mean, you have the rage ability, obviously, and what you can do is kind of lure out one of their spells with your minions, say. Then they drop their arrows or their fireball against your minions or your minion horde, and that's when you drop immediately the goblin gang at the bridge, because you know they don't have any spells, and you have the rage ability via the lumberjack death and the golemites, or the golem if you're lucky, to help survive. You know what, let's go hop into another live match here, and we'll kind of give the play-by-play. So about 30 seconds into this one, nothing crazy happened. It looks like YaoYao defended against the Prince Minion Horde combo, ratherly aggressively played at the bridge by High at the top. Speaking of aggressive moves at the bridge, now this could be a little bit of a problem here for YaoYao. Now remember, he exhausted most of his small defensive cards in the goblin gang and the lumberjack and the minions on that first little rush there, so he was forced to use the 3 musketeers on the second rush with the elite barbarians and fire spirits. Of course, he probably had minion horde in hand. In fact, he did, but it would have been moot and negated by those fire spirits. So now he's going to go ahead and take this opportunity to get his pump on the board. He does have the elixir advantage, considering he does have the pump, and they're tied in elixir right now. So let's see how he goes about this. I would assume the golem again. You know, he's not hesitating on this golem play. He's not waiting to get a ton of pumps on the board. You know, I find that a lot of the beatdown players, the pros who I've talked to, they tend to, in the first 2 minutes, they just want to go ahead and get as many pumps on the board while they defend as possible. YaoYao doesn't have the same mentality here. If he sees an opening to drop his golem with the elixir advantage, even if it's during regular elixir time, he's going to go ahead and go for it. Again, a pretty aggressive player is YaoYao. Now you'll notice this deck has no spells. How crazy is that? There's no spells in this deck, but you do have the minion horde to kind of act as a cleanup, the minions to act as a cleanup against units such as the Skarmy. So it's an interesting deck. Oh, I was mistaken. It has log. We have log here, but he didn't have it in rotation, or at least he didn't have enough elixir for it on that first push with the golem against the Skarmy. So another golem here after he pumps up again by YaoYao, and this golem again. This might be the killer shot right now. So a really bad rocket by High, the opponent right there. That's going to allow YaoYao to play his 3 musketeers. Now watch how lethal this push is going to be, guys. Of course, YaoYao has to be ready for a Skarmy right now, and an Electro Wizard. Maybe there's the Skarmy and Minion Horde. So look at this. I mean, plays the minions. You're going to notice that YaoYao always plays his minions most of the time kind of towards the right in the middle of the arena. That way he can avoid fire spirits or any sort of splash damage that might be placed in the lane by the opponent. So there you go, another 3 crown by YaoYao. What a beast this guy is. He's a machine. Let's go ahead and see if he hops into another live match here. He did share another deck, a little treat for you guys that I'd also like to share for you guys. But this guy, oh man, I mean, I know I'm fawning over him, but you know, like I said, it's been a long time coming. I've been reaching out to him, trying to get a translator, trying to get his tips, and finally it all happened. He's been traveling a lot, you know, different time zones. He's on the exact other side of the world as I am, a 12-hour difference. It doesn't look like he's going into a live match right now, right this second. So let's go ahead and just show one of his replays here. This first replay, I believe, is using the other deck that he wanted to share today. It is indeed. It's a graveyard giant Three Musketeer deck? Are you kidding me, man? This guy has a certain level of ingenuity that he brings to the table. I guess innovation is probably a better word when it comes to deck creations and decks that can actually do well, and heavy decks at that, both in a ladder situation and of course in challenges where he really shines because he doesn't have max level cards, as you saw. So here he's going against another pretty aggressive beatdown deck, a Golem and a Minion Horde coming at him. And remember, all we have, okay, now I think he has poison in this deck. I was gonna say all we have is a log, but I believe he has poison, but you can see it's not in rotation. So we'll have to see how he does here. He defends with a Minion Horde of his own, and it looks like he's gonna be able to keep that left tower standing, just barely, having to go up against that pretty aggressive push there that he really didn't have any great answers for. So this opponent is playing an interesting deck here, right? It's kind of like a swarm deck. He has Skarmy, he has Minion Horde, he has Elite Barbarians, it's very aggressive, and of course the big heavy Golem for the beatdown. So here comes the first giant graveyard combo in the right lane. He hesitates on that log, wants to make sure he didn't need anything for a huge push in the opposite lane. He barely just leaves that tower standing at 411 HP left on the right. Of course, his own tower is down to 77 HP on the left. So now you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to go ahead and try to pump up for one big last massive push. So there's the Golem. And is he gonna pump? He does. He does pump there. So there's the pump. He has not seen any direct damage from the opponent yet, so he does not need to hide that pump behind his tower. So here comes a Skarmy, very adeptly defending against that, or keeping that elixir pump alive. And you can see he split some of that. Did I say Skarmy? Some of that Goblin Gang. He split to the right, so they actually take about a quarter of that Golem's HP down. Then he's forced to use the three Musketeers to defend against that Golem there. He will take a lot of damage again, but remember, the opponent has not shown him any direct damage spells, so he can go ahead and have the luxury of placing his three Musketeers together. He drops the Giant there to tank for those Elite Barbarians while the minions take care of that Witch, and here comes a graveyard push. Now, things are not looking too beautiful here, but remember, he does have that pump advantage right now. The Skarmy not doing a great job against the three Musketeers, using a log there is YaoYao, and here comes another three Musketeer. Now, all he has to do is place the Giant in the pocket, and if you can do it in time, there it is. Unfortunately, that left tower did lock onto that left Musketeer, but that Giant in the pocket is going to provide a lot of cover for the four Musketeers. The Goblin Gang and the minions still left standing at this point, and now with 10 seconds left, it looks like YaoYao is going to pull off another 3 crown. I think it's all 3 crowns all the time here by TMD YaoYao. So, man, I love watching this guy play. He actually has a YouTube channel. Oh, you can see he's giving some tips right here too. He gave me some tips in our Facebook chat, but it looks like he's leaving some in the deck. He said this deck is very popular in Asia. The focus of this deck is to sacrifice, basically sacrifice tower HP. He stressed that a lot to me. Sacrifice your towers, sacrifice your tower HP, and go for the gold, baby. Go for the 3 crowns. So again, a huge shout out to TMD YaoYao. It's been a pleasure showing his replays here. You know what? Let's go ahead and play this last replay. Might as well use all the content we possibly can because this guy's such a stud, and I was mentioning it before, but I'll mention it again, guys. YaoYao does have a YouTube channel now. It's of course not in English, but you can still watch his gameplay and hopefully get better at whatever deck he's using. He does tend to play these kind of funky, a little bit off meta decks, but they're really fun to use, and you can have a lot of success with them. So again, here defending with the Goblin Gang. I'll link his YouTube channel, by the way, in the description. You're going to want to subscribe there for sure, guys. So here comes a Skarmy defending against the gang, but he doesn't have to worry about that Skarmy. I don't think. Maybe a couple of them will reach the tower there. Yeah, it looks like a few, maybe about 200 damage or so. Still wasn't that bad, but either way, it doesn't matter if you take a little bit of chip damage with this deck. Again, a rather aggressive early Golem push here from YaoYao. He's not even going to worry about that Hog Rider. He's going to drop a minions probably. There they are on the Hog Rider, but now he wants to save this minion horde for that other minion horde because this Lumberjack is about to die pretty soon. Or actually, I take that back. The Lumberjack is not being targeted by the Crown Tower, and all the better for YaoYao because that Lumberjack will stay alive and do a ton of damage with his very fast moving attack speed. So Golem on the King Tower eating up the Rage, why not? Even a Golem on Rage can do a significant amount of damage. As you can see here, almost half the life off that King Tower is down. So now you know YaoYao is going to go for the 3 crown push here, and you know the opponent's probably going to continue attacking the other lane. He's kind of in a weird spot here. He's going to go hard in the left lane, which is really what you should do when you see the Golem dropped. But remember, YaoYao he's not really concerned with taking that tower, losing that tower. He's not concerned with losing either of his tower because he's going for the 3 crown right now, and he's not really scared about losing either of his crown towers. His crown towers are just resources that can be used to cash in on a mammoth 3 crown push. So don't think of them as these fragile units. Think of them as things, as units that you can use to your advantage. And you know, if you lose one, if you lose 2, not the end of the world, because check this out, guys. Another 3 crown isn't going to be there. It is. It's another 3 crown thanks to the Golemite death damage. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to Hong Kong Esports for allowing TMD YaoYao, who's under contract with them, to come on my channel. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel and my YouTube partner Bren Chong's social media for daily giveaways, tournaments, and much, much more. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And as always, take care, guys.